Everybody, today I'm in Avon, Indiana, actually in Washington Township Park. And in this video, we're gonna talk about Avon a little bit and actually some of my personal experiences with Avon, because it's one of the first experiences I really had with Indianapolis a long time ago, and just a little bit about what Avon, Indiana has to offer, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. But if it's your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about Avon, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, or any of the surrounding metro or neighborhoods, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and also tap that little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video each and every week. Now, we get calls and reach outs of all kinds from people all over the Indy Metro and all over the country with questions about places like this, Avon and Indianapolis and the entire surrounding metro. So if you have questions at all, then don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, because we'll have your back with those, and we'll also have your back with your move to Indianapolis or within the Indy Metro. All right, so today I am in Washington Township Park in Avon, Indiana. I'm actually on a walking path here. And for me personally, Avon will always be in my head. I've lived in Indianapolis since 1997, and I've lived in a lot of different places and even the suburbs of Indianapolis, but I've never lived in Avon. However, I've been in Avon a tremendous amount over the years, and Avon is actually one of the places in Indy that I had my very first experience with Indianapolis. And you know how our memories are. They can fail us a little bit. Before that, may have had a field trip in school to the Children's Museum in Indianapolis, which is incredible. But memory aside, one of my first memories, at least, of Indianapolis is Avon. So I played golf in high school and before that, growing up. And our state high school tournament was in Avon. It was at a country club called PRESTWICK Country Club. The state tournament for high school is no longer played there, but it's since moved on. But when we came up several years to play at PRESTWICK. We stayed, actually weirdly, not close by. We stayed on the north side of Indianapolis near Michigan Road and 465, which was kind of a haul, a bit of a drive. And I do remember that sticking out in my head, thinking, wow, you know, this is such a huge place where the state tournament is. And it was really, like I said, one of the first times I'd ever even been to Indianapolis, and it just was bigger than I could have imagined. I'm from a city in the southern part of the state called Evansville, Indiana, right along the Ohio River. And it's nowhere near the size of Indianapolis. It's bigger than Avon, but nowhere near the size of Indy. Avon, back in 2000 or so, there was a little over 6,000 people. There's about 19,000 people here today. When I was in high school, 1990, 91, 92, in that range, there were less than 6,000 people here. But given that it was so close to Indianapolis, it felt very, very big. And one of the things that made it feel so big was US 36, Rockville Road. And in fact, anybody's first experience with Avon is probably going to be that road. That is one of the busiest roads in all of the Indy Metro. So there are other places I can think of around town, around the city, that are just as busy, of course. Now I know that. But I mean, realistically, it is a very busy road. Tons of traffic, tons of stoplights, and tons of stores, department stores, restaurants. Pretty much anything that you can think of is along that road. So Target, Walmart, another department store called Meijer, which we have here. If you don't know what that is, it's similar to a Walmart or a Target. Every single chain restaurant that you can possibly imagine is along that road. And then you have individual restaurants and shops along there too, but they're kind of overshadowed by all of the other chains that exist. Extremely busy. And so I thought, wow, this place is crazy big, crazy busy. I can't believe how insane Avon is. Now, over the years, I've learned that it's actually not that way at all. So Avon, close to 19,000 people or so, is a place that truly doesn't have a lot going on. Rockville Road is kind of the deception that it has for you. And that's not a knock against Avon at all. Actually, it's a really positive thing. Everybody that lives in Avon really already knows this. Or if you're looking for a place like Avon, then it's something that you should know. So once you're off of Rockville Road, it's actually exceptionally quiet and not all that crowded. So Avon is probably one of the least dense suburbs or towns around Indianapolis or even close to Indianapolis. Only about 1,000 people or so per square mile, which is fantastic. And Rockville Road would definitely not have you thinking that. And again, I told you I'm in Washington Township Park. The parks in Avon, there aren't that many, but the size of the parks, I mean, they are comically large for how big the town of Avon is. It's close to 190 acres or so with all of the parks combined for Avon, and really they're tied up in this one for the most part and a different one just down the road, Avon TOWNHALL Park. Both of them are gargantuan when you compare it to the size of the town of Avon. And in those parks, they do have a lot to offer. So Avon TOWNHALL Park has a 18-hole disc golf course, tons of walking trails, fishing ponds. It's exceptionally clean, very safe. It's a beautiful park. And this Washington Township Park is kind of the same. They have an amphitheater here, a huge playground. And this was, in addition to playing just down the road in Avon at PRESTWICK Country Club, one of my first experiences in living in Indianapolis, this park here. So I used to ride bikes quite a bit on the road and also did a lot of mountain biking. And this particular park here has a little mountain bike trail, and I wouldn't say it's the best. It's pretty gnarly, in fact. A lot of roots, it's very technical, and actually riding on it, I didn't have all that much fun, truthfully. I liked a different kind of trail, but it still has one. And I was under the impression that, okay, well, this is how mountain biking is gonna be in and around Indianapolis, but I've since found that there are many other places and opportunities to actually do something like that. But you wouldn't think here in Avon that you'd have an opportunity like that. So Avon is a place that is actually known quite well around the Indianapolis area. A lot of people don't know a lot about it, but across the country, it does have some recognition. So back in 2017, Avon was named the 17th best place to live in the entire country by Money Magazine. So it does have some clout, and there must be some reasons for that. And I know for a fact that many people who live in Avon or want to move to Avon, they want what it offers, which truly isn't a lot of excitement. About the only, and that's again not a knock against Avon, it's just that they want a very quiet suburb aside from Rockville Road. That place is crazy. You can find anything you want there right next to Rockville Road. But when you get off of that quiet, very residential, very affordable, the median home sale price in Avon is about $235,000, so you can get a lot of house for your money out here. Not a mansion, but a nice house for a reasonable price. Certainly when you compare it to some of the other suburbs. But that's what people want in Avon. Plus, fantastic schools, very highly rated schools. So those are the things that Avon is really known for. And if that's exciting to you, that's fantastic. If it's not exciting to you, then Avon may not be your place. It doesn't have a bustling downtown, a place that is, I would say, culturally exciting, anything like that. It's actually a place where you can kind of retreat on your own. You live in this quiet area, and if you want any of that, there's certainly plenty of that nearby. I will say that this Washington Township Park, this bridge behind me is one of the things that Avon strangely is known for. So nearby on Rockville Road, there's a CSX train yard. So occasionally you will hear some trains in Avon, but a lot of the trains that run through Indianapolis, a lot of them at least, are put together there, they originate there, and they terminate there too. Huge rail yard. And in fact, I think I hear a train going across the bridge right now. But this bridge is famous to people, at least some in Indianapolis and people here in Avon, because that's definitely a train. It's supposedly haunted. So whether you think that's true or not, it's up to you. You have to kind of visit it on your own and see what you think. But there are a few different legends as to why it's haunted. So one is this terribly tragic story about a mom and her baby. I won't even get into all of that, but another one is that workers working on the bridge a long time ago fell off. Another legend is that one is buried in the concrete, and you can hear this person's moans every time you drive under it, or a train goes across the top of it, so you're supposed to honk whenever you go under the bridge so you can kind of drown out those moans. Anyway, whether any of those stories are true or not, this is that famous bridge that is supposed to be haunted in Avon. So, I'm gonna head back the other way. This train actually going across it is actually a little bit loud now. Avon has really a lot to offer, but not in a New York City way or a downtown Indianapolis way. Much, much quieter than that. So even though my first experiences with Indianapolis had to do with Avon, and I thought Avon was just the biggest, busiest place that I have ever experienced, well, that may have been true at the time, because I hadn't really, as a 14 or 15-year-old kid, been much of anywhere, honestly. So now, much later, I realize that Avon is certainly much smaller. It's close to Indianapolis, but it still has a lot to offer, just not in the way that you would think is incredibly exciting and fast-paced. So Avon could be a really good fit for you if you are interested in a suburb that has good schools, nice homes that are reasonable as far as their price is concerned, and it's quiet. There are other suburbs around Indianapolis that aren't as near to this as far as how quiet it is. So Avon, the other thing about it is that it's on the west side. It could be a really good location for you if you work downtown or anywhere along the west side. I'll say that if you're dealing with Avon, a lot of times you will have to deal with Rockville Road, which if you're commuting from the far east side of it to the far west side of it or vice versa, it's painful going up and down that road. But there are other ways to avoid it. But if you live in Avon and you work on the east side of Indianapolis, or you work on the northeast side, or even a place like Carmel, Fishers, way up northeast, your commute's gonna be terrible. This is not gonna be a fantastic place for you unless you just love spending a lot of time in the car and listening to audiobooks and podcasts, things like that. Maybe okay then. But if you are on the west side of Indianapolis and you like all those features about Avon and what it might have to offer, or the lack of what it has to offer, then it could be a good fit for you. So if you have any questions at all about Avon, Indiana, or any of the surrounding metro, then don't hesitate to reach out. And until the next one, we'll see you later.